3 things that we need to bring into line. So in terms of dietary recommendations, balance and moderation are the keys. I'm going to keep hammering this home for the rest of the lecture. Now for most people, most of the time, what we should be eating are whole grains, slightly cooked vegetables, and a little bit of everything else. Now of the grains, white rice is the best. White rice has been much maligned in the public consciousness lately, lumped in with white bread, white sugar, and iceberg lettuce as a food devoid of value. Meanwhile, brown rice has been getting all the positive press. Brown rice is white rice with a thick husk around it. It's like eating a walnut and not taking the shell off. Now, of course, nature had to put some nutrients in to make that shell, but those aren't for us. They have a very poor bioavailability. There's a compound in it that's called phytic acid, which is known as an anti-nutrient because it blocks absorption of nutrients. Now, in China, they eat everything. When I studied there, I ate things that people would scoff or even retch at the thought of. So the fact that they go to the trouble to polish off this germ layer, there must be a good reason. And that is because it is too difficult. The brown rice slows our metabolism. It is too difficult for us to break through and to break down. White rice is the most hypoallergenic, easily assimilated, and energetically neutral of the grains. Now, all foods and herbs have properties. Some things are warming or cooling, moistening, drying, activating, sedating, etc. White rice is completely neutral. So you can have it all day, every day, and it won't throw off that internal energetic balance. Now you could, but you shouldn't. All foods have things that are both good and bad about them, and every food has something that no other food can give us. So while white rice is the best, it shouldn't be taken to the exclusion of all the other grains. But white rice is the best because of the efficient digestion. We want to be able to process things easily. We don't want too much work. We get all of our energy from this system. We don't want to spend too much processing it. I liken this to an ATM fee, where they charge you $3 to take out 10. Now, some people argue that we want inefficient digestion, because then that'll make the metabolism work harder. That's like, to me, thinking, okay, I want my car to go faster, so I'm going to put a 2,000-pound trailer on the back of it. So my car has to work harder, so then it'll go faster. No, it doesn't work that way. We make it easy, and then we can just serve as the filters. Send the good stuff to the tissue, bad stuff to the tissue paper. And our diet should be like, a good diet should be like a good stock portfolio, diversified. As I said, every food has something no other food can give us. They all pull us in a different direction. If you have the same food all the time, every day or even every week, you're loading up in one sector. That makes you prone to the negatives of that sector, and at the same time you're missing out on all the other good stuff happening in the market. It's like a good portfolio, you hedge your bets. You have a little of more foods, nothing can pull you too far in any one direction. We tend to be the land of extreme. We tend to get into ruts, and that's not good. We have too much of one thing to the exclusion of too many other things. And the more processed a food is, the more difficult it is to unprocess. So something like rice gets popped out of its shell and steamed. Wheat gets popped out of its shell, ground, leavened, emulsified, and baked in order to make bread. Pasta similarly goes through more steps. And I'm not sure how many steps are involved in making a Twinkie, but I know it's too many. So I'm not saying that breads and pastas are bad, but they are a little more difficult for us to digest and should represent a smaller proportion of our weekly intake.